Hey guys, it was very productive yesterday. We got a lot done. I did a review of the stuff to put it into context, okay, to help you kind of keep the conversation, just the key points very clear in terms of priorities. I know you took notes, but I think it's a good exercise. Don't worry, how that it's extra work, but at the same time, it helps align and understand if we can work together. What if I would bring value, especially if it doesn't make sense, to if you guys are really needing some other type of professional, doesn't make sense for me to get involved because it's not going to last. It's not going to be, it's not going to have the potential that we want. Okay, going into that, I just wanted to run you through the document I'll send you. I'll probably send you an email. If not, I'll send you a Notion. It's just very good to break down the topics. It works quite well, and I'll try to run it quite fast. Okay, let me share my screen. Share, and I'm going to share basically the Notion. Okay, and I might send you directly a Notion because I think sometimes it's the most effective. Okay, go in here. Boom, to the meeting. Okay, what we discussed yesterday: who to hire, marketing strategies, product and pricing, retail, then Thailand expansion to Thailand or not expansion to Thailand. Okay, and then if there's a relation, if it's a continuous working relationship. Okay, to the point: who to hire. I would keep it simple. One key factor here is nothing can break. If it breaks, you are not going to get your customers back. The potential of TWOOAK was that it already had a very loyal customer base. I would say this is the absolute priority right now. It doesn't mean it's the long-term priority, but right now, having someone who can solve the problems that you have by having a WooCommerce system that then needs to be downloaded, then you need to errors are going to happen. You need someone who knows what they're doing, who has seen this or similar before. Just in terms of priorities, here you can see the breakdown. Okay, I'm putting you some additional information. As you'll see, I'll give you meat. Okay, I just want to make sure that you can execute, not execute because you'll need to execute, and I can help you on that if we decide to work together. But here, important middle level manager, and ideally you can use your network and ownership potentially to give them equity. This can really help. More senior managers might be more enticed by cash, but this can work quite well. Front house optimizer, second priority. Marketeer, third priority. Why? I'll explain also the marketing strategies, but I do think at this time, someone over Nicole, who had already been the intern, knows the drill or the basic drill can be overseen. And then if you want to scale, the moment you want to scale, you can leverage an agency. They're expensive or they're relatively expensive, but they're very low cost. And they have a lot of learning curve that you can absorb from them, which I think is very valuable. Okay. Second point, marketing strategy. This is there's tons of options. Influencer marketing, paid, offline to offline. You can do anything. Hey, marketeers make up stuff every day. Okay, every day. Then I would keep it simple. Just very focused initially on the happy customers reuniting with my TWOOAK as a campaign. Okay. Third element, product roadmap. The same. There's a bunch of stuff that you could be doing. And I would keep it simple, and especially ask your customer base. Okay, and there's a trade-off. If you could have every product on shelf, of course you will have every product on shelf, but that's going to have enormous amount of cost, and you already know that. So I would really focus on the essentials. Okay, and here I explain it a little bit complex, but basically is need, not need. Here the key thing is what customers need. Customers need contact lenses. That's what they need, and they can have a higher quality ones like the Halo or have the bases, but that's what they need. That's where it seems like the monthlies would be a more natural fit. Depends. I'm just saying, in case the customer base doesn't answer, that seems to be quite the space, because that's going to happen, and you just want to make sure they don't escape. They don't go to someone else who's offering the monthlies for them. Color. My assessment initially, depending on what customer says, might be different, but it can be a seasonal campaign. And in a way to get customers very engaged, what I'm saying seasonal is because you can bring it down to one color, for example. You could say Chinese New Year red. You can be some variation on this, but that can test without you guys buying insane amount of stock that then you don't know it depends on the sales. You know, imagine you buy the same quantity because you have minimum order quantities and you end up with 3 colors that don't sell. What are you doing with that? Unless you have a plan for liquidation, that could be a different. If you have a system, that can be different. Okay, in case you don't have it, I would keep it simple. Okay, then pricing. Make sure that you keep your loss leader or destination. I like the term destination product very clear, and that becomes make sure that customers are coming because they know what they need. They're getting it from you guys. Okay, I say need with passion because I think that's what you TWOOAK have done very well. And then once you have the destination product, when the customers are coming back, then you can upsell. You have Halo with monthlies. Just here bringing up the idea of packaging, of playing around with that, and where you're actually not lowering your margin, you're increasing it ideally, where you're saying, hey, with the monthlies, the price comparison is going to be a little bit different as long as you're cheaper than competition. And if you need, you can play around with the packaging. Okay. And I'll take this one out, but it's basically, I'll delete this, but it's basically saying, hey, just don't over focus on increasing margin in some areas, because upselling, if you have a customer, you can upsell and sell something different, or you can sell the seasonal colors, or that can actually pay off much better than trying to sell a product where you're suddenly not so competitive, or it's hard for consumers to understand why they're paying extra. Okay. Retail Guardian, for me, very important. Opportunity cost. Look, this is bringing down to the numbers. If it's 30K, the worst case scenario of investing in Guardian, and if nothing works out, look, if you compare to the marketing cost that you're going to have to spend anyways to grow, this is already in line with that. If it's 100K or a completely different number, then that's a different picture and needs to be revisited. But I'm just telling you, just sometimes it can sound expensive saying, oh my God, we need to pay all this, and if we don't sell, but it's going to be more expensive to try to get digital marketing in which you're going to be competing in a bidding war with other brands potentially, and at the same time don't have the same exposure or the same credibility that being in the store next to Acubu or any other brand that has done tons of marketing, and you're next to it and cheaper, and all in the mark of Guardian. That gives a lot of credibility. Okay, that was in the details. I won't run through this too long. Okay, but basically every detail in the contract needs to be very clear. Well, it doesn't matter. This is, we work together. I'll run this, if not to worry, but just every detail, please don't leave any details in the contract unscrutinized. Okay, because you can get screwed. And then execution. This is a little bit of this is an example of a campaign that we did, a very expensive campaign that we did with Xenium, and or with high potential of exposure, but then we needed to just my push in terms of the execution, just being on top. You'll see these videos if you want, if not to worry, but you can see me on the road in the middle of Singapore promoting the product with a banner and showing the team how to do it, because then we needed to show the people from the agency how to do this. Nothing like doing it yourself. So if you're going to execute on retail, you need to make sure that you're going to be following up on what's happening in retail, because the retailer is not going to do it for you, or is going to do it, but not at the same passion as you are. Then Thailand, very clearly figuring out the product, if you can get it in, there's always barriers in Thailand. Okay, once that is done, okay, find an optometrist and execute with one optometrist. I wouldn't put a whole marketing team. I wouldn't try to optometrist with their own social media. It's going to be, I'm not saying it's going to be easy to find, or maybe there has to be a mix between the optometrist and some influencer, but leveraging resources in the country, seeing if there's traction, and if there's traction, then you can try to. If we were to work together, obviously, I would find this optometrist and find the mix here. Then our relationship, well, here up to now, don't worry, it's been a lot of work, but it's part of getting to know each other. If we look forward, okay, this is the way I like this a lot. Okay, if we move forward, we have two options. Okay, fractional, being kind of a C-level person for you on a part-time basis, okay, and responding to inquiries, to everything is a member of the team, is a part-time member of the team. Okay, that could be an option, or consulting, which is still hands-on. It's not that I'm not going to be making, or I don't make PowerPoints and leave people to do, but it's kind of a more flexible. Hey, these are the hours dedicated to this. If that's interesting, great. If not, feel no obligation. Okay, it was good. It's part of the process, and I learned a lot from this. I do have, and I'm not trying to push here, but I do have other commitments. Especially there's one in mid-September that would be pretty big if it's confirmed. At the same time, it would be good if we can to talk. If you're interested, let's talk next week and see if it makes sense to work together. And if not, not to worry. No harm done. I learned a lot. It was good to work with you guys. Okay, I leave it here. And follow up or not follow up, not to worry. I'm happy to help. I enjoy the process. Okay, bye guys.